Yasodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yamunadira Vanachari Yamunadira Vanachari. Yasodanandana Rajajanaranjana Yamunadira Vanachari Yamunadira Vanachari.
Namaste, my name is Ruben and I am one of the coordinators of this event. I'm representing Trondheim Meditation, one meditation school in Norway. We are also cooperating with Canada and the United Kingdom. In Norway, something happened on Christmas Day last year that shocked the entire Norwegian population. Something that ignited as well a huge national debate on a problem that had been bubbling under the surface for a very long time. This was the suicide of the national celebrity Ruben, the ex-husband of the royal princess of Norway. In the wake of Ruben's death and the appearance of the COVID-19 virus, suicide rates have skyrocketed. Many of you may have had the experience of someone you know attempting or successfully ending their life. There is no pain like the pain of some of having a loved one leave us. And we know that even now as we speak, there are many people struggling with these thoughts as well. We were honestly not sure whether or not to address this topic, since we know that there are a lot of emotions involved that may be stirred up. But we felt that it was our responsibility to bring to the table of the discussion the perspective of the ancient yoga wisdom on this uprising issue of suicide. And we hope that this will be able to inspire and guide you forward in your life. Therefore, we invited our teacher and our dear friend, Yoga Master Balakhilya, to expand upon the root cause and effect of suicide. Something that will hopefully help you understand not only death, but life itself. So welcome to the webinar, Too Much to Bear, Understanding Suicide. And with these words, I'd like to warmly welcome Balakhilya to speak. I hope you're well, Balakhilya, and I'm pass the word over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Ruben. And thank all of you for joining us. Of course, I also thank all those behind Ruben that made it possible to present this information to everyone. Before I begin my programs, I always offer my respects to my spiritual masters, Siddha Swarupananda Paramahamsa and Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami. And the ancient wisdom that Ruben referred to is coming through a line of perfect masters. And I happen to be fortunate enough to have received this information from my masters. And so I'm just passing it on. And I speak from the platform of Bhakti Yoga. There's different yoga systems. But many of you know meditation is one of the main activities in any yoga system. So I would like for all of us to do a very easy meditation right now before we begin to speak for some different reasons. Number one, it helps us to slow down. Everybody's busy every day, so it helps us to relax a little bit, take a little space. Number two, it will help us to understand the subject matter a little more easily. And of course, number three, you get to learn this meditation and you can add it to your life. So the type of meditation we'll be doing is mantra meditation. And mantras are transcendental sounds. That means spiritual sounds. They originate in the spiritual realm and descend into the material realm. And because they come from the spiritual realm, they bring with them great spiritual power. Therefore, when we come in contact with this transcendental sound vibration, automatically we receive great spiritual benefit. So this is the easiest of all meditations, but at the same time, the most effective. Our mantra for today will be the mantra Gauranga, and we will divide Gauranga into 4 syllables, Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. It's also a very easy technique. We inhale through the nose slowly and gently, but very deeply, taking the air all the way down to the lower abdomen. And as we inhale, silently in the mind, we chant Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. We chant in the mind very softly and very gently. When the body fills with air, we begin to exhale, and out loud, we chant Go, Ra, Ang, Ga. And then we repeat. Inhale, Gauranga in the mind. Exhale, Gauranga out loud. Before we begin, we want to relax. So to help us relax, we're going to take in a big breath and let it back out through the nose. And when we relax, remember also to relax the mind. So we inhale, exhale, let our tension, anxiety, frustration go away with that breath. See, when we do the meditation, we want to listen very closely to the sound and also put the mind on the sound. Meditate on the sound. Okay. When you've learned the mantra, and perhaps you have already, I suggest you close your eyes because this helps us to relax more deeply and prevents distraction. When we finish the meditation, just sit quietly for a few moments, eyes remaining closed, and feel the effect. So get comfortable. Whether you're sitting on the floor, on a chair, on a sofa, it doesn't matter, as long as you're comfortable. Try to eliminate any distractions that you can, and just follow my guidance. Everybody take a big breath, let it out, and relax. And now very slowly, gently, and deeply inhale and chant Gauranga in the mind. Gauranga. 4 3 2 1 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 2 more times. Haribol. Okay, so you can see this is a very easy meditation to do and very effective. You can do it in the morning when you start your day. You can end your day with this meditation anytime, anywhere throughout the day. It's very, very useful. And as we explain this topic of suicide tonight, you may find that, yeah, I'm going to begin to do this meditation. So, as I mentioned, this information I present comes from the ancient Vedic teachings. These are the oldest teachings, the oldest scriptures written down 5,000 years ago, passed down since time immemorable through a line of perfect teachers, and therefore it retains its purity. This is called a parampara. This is the lineage of perfect masters. We are in the parampara known as the Brahma Sampradaya, and we feel very fortunate to receive our knowledge through this lineage. So this is not my opinion. I'm just passing on this eternal science. So Ruben has already given you a little introduction that's quite complete, and that is the fact that suicide is a major problem in society today. Norway, yes, but all other countries as well. It is certainly not limited to one country, not one class of people. As he mentioned, the ex-husband of the Norwegian princess, high level of society, committed suicide, 2019. And it can go right down to the most low-income third world countries, same event. See, it's not limited to one age group. It's not limited to a particular race, educational background, anything. See, and when I mention age group, unfortunately, many people that are choosing to commit suicide are in a very young age group, from 14 to 29. This is when they're in the prime of their life. You know, many times at the age of 14, 15, you don't have big responsibilities. You don't have families yet. You don't have debts yet. You're usually living at home or being cared for. you don't have to worry about anything in one sense, but yet they're worried about everything. So much so that they make an incredible choice. It's the most serious choice you can make, to commit suicide. And it's not only devastating for the person who commits the suicide, but for all the people they leave behind. See, for every person that commits suicide, you can multiply that by 10 to 20 as far as the amount of people that are affected by that. The loved ones, the ones that are close to them, the ones that are devastated because of this event that they chose. So not only is it, self-centered from the fact that I'm going to do it, but it's very self-centered because they're not thinking about how it's going to affect others in their life. So no matter how you look at it, from what angle you may perceive it, it's a tragedy. And it's a tragedy that should not be happening. It is preventable. But we have to change our approach. I was just reading that they've tried so many different approaches in Norway in the last 10 to 20 years, and the suicide rate is the same. It hasn't gone down. See, although they've stepped up the attempts to reduce the number, it hasn't worked. See, so we need to take a different approach. 800,000 people a year on this planet make the choice to end their life. So that's actually one person every 40 seconds that's successful in destroying their body. And for every person who attempts suicide, 20 times that number, for every person who is successful in suicide, 20 times that number attempts suicide. See? And sometimes many, many times over. A friend of mine has a daughter. I think now she's probably 20. And she's tried to commit suicide innumerable times. See, so, there's something wrong here. So let's look at it from the Vedic perspective, from the yoga perspective. Because this is ancient eternal wisdom. This is not trying to figure it out. This is already, it's figured out. All you have to do is accept the truth. So we begin in the beginning. And the Veda's first instruction for anyone seriously approaching life is to ask themselves the question, who am I? But unfortunately, we almost never ask this question because we think we already know the answer. Yes, of course, we all have our identities. We've had them our whole life. We have them in our minds. We have them on our lips. We even carry them around in our pockets. Meaning, this is who I think I am. This is who I tell others I am. And I prove it with my passport, my documents. We accept this, and so does everyone else. But it is our true identity. And upon close examination, we find this is nothing but a compilation of many labels. And the labeling process begins at birth. So all of us here now, as soon as we took birth, receive one of two labels, male or female. We also get another label according to our race, Caucasian, Negroid, whatever it may be. Our national identity is very strong. I am Norwegian. I am American. And of course, our family identities, we belong to this family. And unfortunately, this identity is so strong that every day on this planet, one person kills another person just because they have a different label. And this is just the beginning. Many, many labels come and go throughout our entire life. So, once again, at birth, we're also known as babies. Then kids, we start school. Now we're students. A few more years go by and we become teenagers. And finally, adults. We take up some profession in life and we're known accordingly. Doctors, lawyers, secretaries, nurses. We get married and immediately we become a husband or a wife. We have a child. Now we're a father or a mother. A few more years roll by, grandfathers, grandmothers. And this is how we see ourselves. This is me. This is who I am. And this continues on until we finally get the last label, dead. See? But looking closely, we see this is all in relation to our material bodies. See? It's true, the body is male or female, black or white, old or young, big or little. Whatever the body is, it is. Yes, that is true. But is this who we are? See? Every day we take our pilgrimage to the mirror to see how we look. But do we really see ourselves? So the question is, am I this material body? If we want the most authoritative answer, we should go to the revealed scriptures of the world, and there we quickly learn, no, you are not the material body. But this is the modern world. Very rare does anyone go to scripture to find the truth in life. However, we do readily accept the conclusion of the scientists, because the scientists prove things. Well, uniquely enough, in this case, the scientists have proven in their laboratory that we are not a material body. They discovered there's no cell in the human body that lives more than 5 years. Some cells have a very short life. The lining of the stomach, those cells live 5 days. Our skin cells 1 month. Liver cells 6 weeks, etc. But in 5 years, everything had changed. So if I'm looking at a photograph of myself taken 10 years ago, the eyes in the photograph are actually different than the eyes I'm looking at the photograph with. They're not the same eyes. According to this scientific formula, if I'm 35 years old, I've had 7 bodies. But of course, we all know we're not 7 different people. Everybody knows, hey, I'm still me. So the changing factor is the material body. The constant factor is ourself. Yes, we're not these material bodies. At this point, some people become meditative, introspective. They begin to look inside to find out who they really are. And when we do look inside, what do we find? Well, there's emotion, desire, sentiment, feeling, will. These are all very real. And it's easy to conclude, yes, this is who I really am. But we must confirm this with Scripture, and especially the Vedic Scriptures, because they're very detailed in this knowledge. And when we do, we find we've made another mistake. This is not who we are either. This is actually another material body. It's called the subtle mental body. Sometimes it's referred to as the astral body. So really we have 2 bodies, the physical body and the mental body. Like having on 2 layers of clothing. We have on our outer layer and then an underlayer. But the question still remains, excuse me, who am I? So once again, we go to the Vedas, and there we find that we are in a different category of energy. Everything is energy. Our bodies are material energy. However, we learn that we are spiritual energy. We further learn we're a tiny spark of spiritual energy. We learn that material energy is temporary, and that is very easy to see. We know all too well our bodies are very temporary. So much so we don't even want to talk about it. See. However, we learn that spirit is eternal. Now, eternal means no beginning and no end. So we are eternal. We also learn that material energy is non-living. And again, that's easy to see. See, this microphone here, there's no life. However, we learn that spirit is life itself. There is no such thing as live matter. There is no such thing as dead spirit. We are the life force in the body. And as long as we're present in the body is called alive. But actually, this is not true. The body's dead, and we are alive. And that becomes very obvious at the time of death. At the time of death, we leave the body. And at that moment, the body reveals its true nature. Kenny was sitting in a chair, falls on the floor. Yes, we are the life force in the body. Therefore, our true identity is spirit soul. Spirit meaning that we're spiritual in essence. And soul meaning this individual spiritual spark that we eternally are. We never become someone else. And we never cease to exist. Remember this. We never cease to exist. Now, of course, for some people, this is very depressing news. What? I'll always be me? Gee, I thought it's going to be over soon. Sorry. Never over. However, when we learn the truth in life, this becomes very wonderful news. So once again, we are spirit soul, and we further learn we're a part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. There is a Supreme Soul from which we all come. We are known as the Atma, and the Supreme Soul is the Paramatma. Now, understanding this eternal truth, we can begin to understand life and all the things connected with life, the good and the bad. So certainly suicide is one of those bad things, see, not good. But why is it happening so much? Why is it so prevalent? Many places it's increasing. You know, some statistics that I've just recently learned in Norway, you know, since this COVID-19 and all the people are in isolation at home, can't go out, maybe not working, and as a result, you know, financial situation is looking more and more bleak, et cetera, et cetera. These mental health hotlines, you know, there's many in many different countries, but, you know, they are really, really, you know, increasing in the number of people calling in. So in Norway, there's been a 46% increase over 2019. And more men are calling in now than before. And the age group that is the most prevalent for these calls is 18 to 39 years old. And another interesting fact is the number of conversations that are occurring on these hotlines, mental health hotlines. What is it? They got the Church SOS or something in Norway, I think, is another one. That the conversations that are about suicide now, contemplating suicide, discussing this subject, is up 105% in the first 5 months of 2020. See? So you can see this is a real problem. I think people are recognizing more and more it's a real problem, but still they're throwing up their hands what to do about it, you know. And so we have to understand the cause to be able to address the solution. We know it's on the subtle level, right? We know it's a mental issue. It's on the psychic level. Remember, we got the second body, the mental body. It's a psychological problem, you know, and it's accompanied by depression and anxieties and fears, and it's exasperated by all of these things. And so, you know, people, they have big, big mental issues now, more than ever before, and it's increasing. Why is that? Because we're more fluent than we've ever been. You know, we've got more ways to enjoy the world than ever before. That means we have the complete facility to stimulate our senses. See, the senses are what? The avenues of pleasure for the material body. So we've got more ways to stimulate the eyes, the nose, the ears, the tongue, the genital, all the avenues of pleasure. We've got facilities for that like never before. And any restrictions on those activities have been removed by society, by the will of the people. I don't want to be restricted in my freedom to enjoy my senses. So if there's any law against some sensual pleasures, remove the law. If there's any social stigma against some sensual pleasures, remove it. You see, get rid of any obstacles in the way of material enjoyment. People have money now. I mean, Norway's not a poor country. I've been to Norway many, many times. I've been all over Norway, from the south to the north, to the west, to the east. I like Norway. Beautiful country, nice people. But I know it's not a poor country. You've got all kind of facilities. But I know the mental issues there are also huge. See? And there's something going on here that doesn't match our philosophy of life. The philosophy of life is the world is for my enjoyment. That's my purpose for being here. And the more I enjoy the world, the happier I'll be. So like I said, we've got facilities upon facilities to do that. But I've been more depressed than ever before. America, where you've got all kinds of ways to enjoy, and again, freedom to do it in any way you want, is suffering the same problem of suicide. And many of the people that are doing it are from affluent families, young, like I said, 14, 13, on up to 30, 35. See? Why? Because they've already done everything to enjoy the world. They've tried all the pleasures, and it didn't make them happy. See, all the drugs, all the alcohol, the huge parties, the new toys, the great cars, the amazing, gadgets, devices to bring the whole world into your hand, the social media where you can be anybody you want to be, make people think whatever you want them to think, whatever. We've got it all, and yet we're just giving up. I mean, this is the suicide is the final declaration of failure to enjoy. Basically, that's what it is. It's the final declaration that I am not having a good time. The relationships that are so free and easy now have not worked. I've done all the things in a relationship that you can do, sensually speaking. Didn't work. I've tried multiple relationships. Didn't work. I've had all the other ways to enjoy. Didn't work. Why live? Here I am, 18 years old, 14 years old, and I've got a long future ahead of me. See, if I'm 14 and the idea is I'll live to be an old guy, 70, 80 years old, that's what everybody's thinking, right? Then am I going to sit here in this depressed mood for that many more years? No way. I'm out of here, you see. They choose to end their life rather than continue their life. And the illusion is, again, I'm this material body. If I destroy my body, then I will cease to exist because I'm the body. It's a logical conclusion. Destroy the body, no problems. I got all kinds of problems now, but if I destroy my body, I'll have no problems. I won't exist. I won't be me. There is no me. It's all done. It's finished. See? So that's what they do. The pain is so great. All the optimism of, oh, but it'll get better. Don't worry. Think about a bright future. You're young. You're talented. You're going to enjoy later. It's just a rough patch in your life. The pain is too great to buy into that anymore. See, I can't believe that anymore. I just want to stop the pain. So, suicide will stop the whole show. End of story. But it's based on illusion. Uh-oh, low battery. Who's low battery? Keep going.
Yeah, I think you can continue. I don't know. You can ask him.
Ruben, can I continue?
Yes, you can continue.
Yes, he says.
Okay, so it's based on this illusion that I'm the body, you see, which I'm not. This is where this ancient Vedic truth becomes real. I'm not the body. I can destroy my body so easily. You know, it's a very fragile machine. You can do it in one way, another way. It's not difficult, see? And once you've made the decision to do it, that's not difficult either, see? But it doesn't work. You destroy the physical body. That's all you can do. You can do it through any means, you know, through a sharp instrument to cut your wrist, or a gun and blow your brains out, or carbon monoxide poisoning in a car. I just saw in America, you know, they found a family of 4, husband, wife, and 2 children in the car, in the garage, with a pipe running from the exhaust pipe into the car, and they all died of asphyxiation, you see. Solution to some big family problem, I guess, see. But it doesn't work because we're not the body. So you kill the physical body, however you do. You're still covered by your mental body. You're still you. And the mental body is the body of desire. That means it's also the body of the problems. That's where the problems are, on the psychic level. See, even if you've got big physical problems, your worry about it is on the mental plane, right? You've got cancer. You can see it's eating your body up, see? And you're in great anxiety. You're depressed about it and whatever. But all of that worry and trauma is on the mental plane. It's on the mental body. You kill the physical body. The problem is still there on the mental plane. You still got the same problems. You're depressed, you're in anxiety, you're lonely, and now you're in great disappointment because it didn't work. You're still you. You still got the feelings. You still got the drama. You still got all the things, but now you've got even worse problems because you got no physical body to carry out attempts to solve the problem. See, that last attempt that you were able to do with your physical body, pull the trigger of the gun or slit your throat or hang yourself or whatever, you don't even have a body to do that now. You got the mental body and all the desires do not exist perhaps, but you got no way to even try to achieve that. So you've got so much going on here in a negative way. And the karma means the suffering that comes from this action, the result of this action of suicide is huge. It is a great, great sin to kill the body. It is not our body. It does not belong to us. This is all a part of the illusion. My body, I'll do what I want. Don't tell me what to do. See, it's mine. I'll do what I want. It's not yours. You see, you didn't make it and you don't own it. If you did, you could do whatever you want. You don't own it. It belongs to the Supreme Lord. It's on loan to you. It's your car for this lifetime. See, to work out whatever you have to work out, to gain spiritual understanding. This is what the human form of life is for. But we're not using it for that purpose, see? So therefore, it's a great sin. It's a temple, see? You may have heard this, that the body is a temple. Many, many faith systems, you want to call them religions, you can, but it comes with a bad connotation many times. But many, many faith systems in the world today all say the same thing. The body is a temple. Why? Because the Supreme Lord himself is inside you. He's in your heart. He's your constant companion. In the body, there's two people, the soul and the Supreme Soul, called the Atma and the Paramatma. So, what is a temple? What is a church? What is a synagogue? What is a mosque? It's a building where the Supreme Lord is. I mean, this is the idea, right? That's why they call it a sacred place, because this is where the Lord resides. But we don't necessarily understand that the body is our temple, because the Lord resides there. So, just like as it would be a sinful activity to destroy a physical temple, to blow up a temple, a church, a mosque, and so on, which again is being done now, unfortunately, it is even more so to destroy this temple. So the result of that is very, very severe, you see. We have to be responsible for our actions. See, we have responsibilities as a human being. And if we don't fulfill those responsibilities in the way that they should be fulfilled, we have to pay the price for that. See? But again, we don't know these things. We don't receive education in the truth. All we receive education is, you are the body. The purpose of your existence is to enjoy the world. You are number one. You're the first person on the list. Always think about yourself first before you even begin to think about other people. Use other people. Use all facilities on the planet, be it the facilities of nature, to enjoy. Consume, consume, consume is the motto that we live by. And we're doing it. We're bought into it 100%. And we're using up all the resources of the planet. Look at the condition of the planet now. You know, we're destroying the planet. We're making it so whole species of life, the souls in those bodies, they were destined to take birth in those bodies due to their previous actions, their karma. We're making it so they can't exist anymore. Extinction. There's so many species becoming extinct every day. You see, they're not doing it. They're not committing suicide. We're doing it to them because we are consuming. We're the masters. We're the lords. We do have amazing facilities in the human form of life to destroy anything and everything. We've got weapons that can blow up the whole planet, you see. We've got increased abilities, to cut down the rainforest in wholesale amounts. And all those people that live in the rainforest, be they indigenous tribes or be they the animals that inhabit the forest, too bad for you guys. We got other things to do with this property rather than just have these useless trees there. We're going to grow crops to feed cows so we can eat them. And it just goes on and on, the absurdity that the human beings have come up with to try to enjoy life. But are we enjoying? Does suicide represent enjoyment? Do you think happy people commit suicide? No, they don't. The losers commit suicide, meaning they've lost the ability to even have any hope to enjoy life. They've lost everything. They've lost their intelligence. They've lost their purpose. They probably never even had a purpose. You see, all of these things are the root cause of the suicide problem. See, so you can have all your hotlines, you can have all your mental health clinics. You can have all the latest research. You can come up with statistics upon statistics about every 40 seconds somebody commits suicide, and on and on and on it goes. But that doesn't solve the problem. You see, if it did, the problem would already be solved. But it's not solved, it's increasing. You see. So the Vedic system is very, very different system. It understands who we are. We are spirit soul. Why does everybody want to enjoy? Why do we have these fake philosophies of life? Because I, the spirit soul, eternally am destined to be in the natural condition of enjoying. That's who I am. Pleasure is the goal of every living entity. You know, we have a squirrel where we're staying. He comes and visits us tonight. He came and visited us 3 or 4 times. We give him some food. He comes and he eats his food. He's having a happy time. Why? Because, you know, that's his way to enjoy. You see, everybody's trying to enjoy, whether it's the dog or the cat or the squirrel or the human. It's the same, because everybody is a spirit soul, and everybody is meant to be in a condition called Ananda, spiritual bliss. Spiritual bliss, not material, sensual pleasures. Spiritual bliss, spiritual happiness. I, the spirit soul, am happy. And I'm happy, not from what I've achieved materially, but I'm happy because I am happy in my relationship with the Supreme Soul. How many people get married? A friend of mine got married yesterday. They get married with the prospect it's going to make me happy. This is the idea, right? Why would you go to all the trouble to get married if you thought it wasn't going to make you happy? I mean, it's not a simple subject. You know, you got to live with a person. They got a personality. You got a personality. They got a will. You got a will. It's expensive. You know, you got to work harder. You have kids. You got to work even harder. But why do all this? For what purpose? Because it's going to make me happy. But does it? Well, is that why 50% of the people get divorces? Because it made them so happy they leave each other? No. They come into the reality that didn't make me happy either, you know. But we
You are back now, Balakhilya. You ended up, but we need. So that it didn't make you happy.
the last minute.
Maybe last 20 seconds.
Oh, I don't know where I was 20 seconds ago. So we get married for pleasure. Ruben, you're going to have to doctor this guy up, because we got a lot of things going on. We get married for the pleasure that marriage represents. It represents love. It represents warmth. It represents happiness. It represents the elimination of loneliness. I won't be lonely. I will be with somebody. See, all these things are not true in the way we approach it, simply because it's not complete. And even if by some miracle chance nowadays, I do find a person who seemingly fulfills all those needs and all those prospects for happiness and pleasure, it's very, very temporary. And pretty soon, even at best, I'm old and they're old and I have to die. Old age takes me away. It splits up the relationship. And now I'm back to square one. And the pain of that separation is huge. The death of a loved one. Like the pain of suicide is so devastating to the people left behind. You know, why did they do it? What did we do wrong? Where did we fail? See, they're feeling guilty themselves, because I did something wrong. See, maybe I could have helped somehow. Maybe I should have done things different. Maybe the relationship should have been different. It's all about the absence of the loving relationship that causes the problem. Because that's what happiness is, a loving relationship, but not a temporary material relationship based on lust, conditions, you make me happy, I'll make you happy kind of thing. No, an eternal, true, loving relationship. Not lust, but love between the soul and the supreme soul. See? And then that relationship makes it so I can truly love others. I can truly love my parents. I can truly love my children. I can truly love my friends. I can truly love other living entities and even lower species of life. I have no enemies. Love doesn't have enemies. Lust has many enemies. Love has no enemies. See, love is fulfilling. Lust is completely the opposite. It's completely empty. It leaves me empty on all levels, you see. So there's no solution other than the real solution. The individual soul, cultivate, develop, regenerate, revive that long lost relationship with the Supreme Soul. And that's the essence of life. And that's the essence of the teaching of every source of truth that has ever been presented to mankind. See, every great master, every great teacher that came to help us realize these things has said the same thing, you see. But we've taken the opposite approach, go further away from the truth and embrace the non-truth. Embrace the illusion, see. Forget all this ancient teaching, all of this stuff. It's not for me. I have a new way to achieve my goal of happiness, you see. But is it working? Absolutely not. That's why every 40 seconds, one person completely declares, I failed, and they commit suicide, see. And out of those 40 a second, 4,000 a second, 400 a second attempt. So it's 10 times more attempt than actually succeed. So there you can see we must change our approach. Why not, from the very beginning of a person's life, educate them to the truth? Why not? What is the harm? Why not tell them you're not the body, you're spirit soul. You're not Norwegian. You're not American. You're eternal spirit soul. Right now you've taken birth in Norway in this body. I am your biological father and mother, and you are under our care, and our responsibility to you as our child is to give you this truth, to raise you, to come to understand who you really are and what the real goal in life, which is spiritual realization, spiritual development. The goal in life is not to enjoy the material world. You're going to enjoy the material world anyway to a certain degree according to your karma. If you've got a lot of enjoying karma coming to you, you're going to enjoy the world. Whether you've got a new car or no car. Whether you've got a beautiful girlfriend or boyfriend or none. Whether you're liked by everyone or not liked by anyone. You're still going to enjoy. You've got that coming to you. It's not dependent on you creating it. It's already destined. And you're going to experience a certain amount of suffering, of pain, of distress. That's coming to you too. Tell people this in the beginning. Let them know who they are. Bring them up in truth. When they're 6 years old, time to go to school. Maybe you can arrange a school that's going to teach them the truth. Not teach them the opposite. To go and grow up and be successful materially. Get a big, big degree from some institution, and go out and conquer the world. People are doing that every day. Universities are pouring out millions of students every year, you see, that are going out and many times committing suicide. Where is that? What are we doing here? You know, material education is important. I'm not saying it's not, but it should be paralleled with the truth, the spiritual educations. We are not doing that as a society. And this is worldwide. And therefore, we've got what we got, you know. And so rather than sitting around and try to, you know, run a think tank to figure out the solution, why don't we just take the truth that's already there since time immemorable, accept it as truth, know I'm spirit soul, I'm not the material body, apply it to my own life, engage in the process, and bhakti yoga is the highest level of spiritual practice. Why? Because it purifies us of all these illusions. These mantras, like we chanted the mantra Gauranga in the beginning, this is an amazing purifying agent. It's not just a relaxing sound. It purifies the mind. It purifies the heart. And when I become more and more purified, then I become more and more interested in the real truth. And when I hear the real truth, it rings true. And I go, aha. Every one of us that are following this process, with the exception of those who have been born into this process, have had to choose a different path in life. We all had our, path in life, encouraged by parents and friends and society in general. And our teachers said, oh, you should do this and you can be successful. And we went to universities and we got our degrees, and somewhere along the line, we had to choose another direction in life as being a better option. Did we necessarily throw away everything we learned? No. But we have another option now. How can I use what I've already got, apply it to this new direction in life to actually enhance the whole process? See? Many times, well, I don't know about now, but it used to be when you went to school, you kind of learn how to study. You learned a way to learn things. There was a system, a discipline. You went, you studied, you learned things. You were able to pass tests with high grades because you learned how to prepare. Okay, take all that. I don't know if that's even existing now, but let's say it is. You take that expertise and you apply it to study Scripture, to study these truths that I'm presenting to you. The discipline that is required, you apply that. You see, but we've thrown away that idea too. Discipline, what is that? Why have discipline? It's easier to enjoy. You see? And so you can see this is very practical philosophy. This is not just some, unrealistic idea. This is true. I know hundreds and hundreds, and I know thousands actually of people following this process of Bhakti Yoga very seriously. And out of all those people, I've known one person that committed suicide. And the reason they did is because they quit following the process. They got involved in other things. They fell back into illusion, you see. And they got involved in drugs, and they got completely overcome by these adversities, you see. And therefore they, failed in following this teaching. They failed. And you say, well, how could they have done that? Because we've got a free will. And they had some bad association. They had some situations in life that they didn't meet properly. They were challenged, and they didn't meet the challenge correctly. And it took them out, you see. But that's one out of thousands and thousands of people, So you can see we've got something to offer here that's real, but we're not offering. This is the Supreme Lord himself offering it through the line of perfect masters, through the Vedic scriptures. This is the solution. This is the way, Life is too much to bear without this knowledge. There's a saying, daily there's thousands of causes. Let me think it. Daily there's thousands of causes for fear and depression for the unlearned. But for the learned, these don't cause that problem, you see. Thousands of causes every day for depression and fear and anxiety and frustration and loneliness. Thousands a day for the unlearned. But for the learned, this doesn't take place. See? Why? Because they see through it. They know, they understand. They have a different life. They have a different platform to stand on. It's a reality. This is not some high-tooted philosophy that is not practical. It's very, very real and very, very practical. The mantra Gauranga that we chanted, very practical. You can do it every day of your life. It's not just some relaxing sound, like I say. This is spiritually potent sound vibration, transcendental sound that can change your life. I've known so many people who have come and begin this process from great stages of depression and who have actually attempted suicide in the past, or big drug problems, or big alcohol problems, or family problems, or whatever problems, just common things. I mean, this is common in the world today, unfortunately. The problems I just mentioned is common, you know. They've come from that to this process, and they began to apply this process, and it changed their life, you know. It changed their life completely. Some people, you know, who have, you know, found a better way to live, they will say, well, this changed my life, that changed my life. Maybe it was sports. Oh, I took up snowboarding, you know, and I got so into it. I took up surfing, and it, you know, it changed my life. It gave me another reason. But I've known many surfers that overdosed on drugs, some of the best surfers in the world, you know, that won everything you can win. They were known by everybody in the surfing world, and they died of drug overdoses, you see. So those kinds of solutions at best are temporary. You see, at best they're temporary. You're still a spirit soul, absence of the loving relationship with the Supreme Soul. You're still finding a solution to a spiritual problem from a material source. It is not a real solution. It's a temporary solution riddled with holes. It is fallible. It will fail you in the end. And when you come to the final destination of leaving the body, death, you see, what about that? What are you going to do at that time? You know, it's a spiritual situation here completely. You, the spirit soul, are leaving your body. You know, where are you going to go? What are you going to do? You're going to go into this astral world, you see. And according to your karma, desires, and attachments, you may stay there for a while in a ghost body. That's what happens to people who commit suicide. They're stuck in a ghost body. That means they have a mental body full of desires and anxieties and needs and frustrations, but no physical body to even attempt to carry out the solution here, you see. And they're stuck there for a certain length of time. It's not an eternal situation. It's a certain length of time. So if you commit suicide, say you're 14, but your destiny was, in this lifetime, to live to be 80. Okay? So all the time you were supposed to be in this human body, you ended it early, so you're now stuck in this ghost body for that length of time, you see, and struggling. That's why ghosts are usually angry, you know, and they haunt people. All this idea about ghosts is real. It's real. It's just people that have wound up in that situation because of ignorance. I can kill myself, or they overdose on drugs or alcohol or whatever, you see. Untimely deaths, it's called. And therefore, there they are, you know. It's not a solution. It's a very, very increase of the problem. Great increase of the problem. So don't do it. Teachers should be teaching the truth, you know. But if you don't know the truth, you can't teach the truth. But if people come out with these solutions as I'm presenting today, it's not accepted by society. People don't see this as a solution. This is some fanatical religion. You know, you're just talking some religion that, you know, we're not into religion. You know, we're a secular society, you know. So back to the psychological couch, you know. Well, okay, that's all we can do. You know, we can't do more than we can do. It has to be, what has to be accepted has to be accepted, you know. But if one person accepts it, one, you know, then that's one person that has succeeded. See, that's one person who has really succeeded. Mm. So these are some deep ideas, you know, suicide. And, you know, it's available to everyone. It's not some sectarian thing. You got to join something and believe, you know, because of this is the religion. And no, it's an absolute truth. Accept the truth, apply it to your life. That's all. You don't even have to tell anybody. You just do it. You know, you don't have to join anything. You don't have to declare anything. You just do it. And you get the result. That's what the solution really is. And this is very, very dear to the Supreme Lord because we're all his children. And he sees us down here floundering around in ignorance, you know, making such a mess of our lives, mess of other people's lives, mess of the planet. You know, the human form of life, which is so dear and so special and meant for spiritual realization, is being completely misused and just causing chaos, confusion, and havoc. See, this is not pleasing to the all-loving Father, seeing his children acting like this. See? So, you want to really do the right thing? There you go. This is what we can do. Bhakti Yoga, the highest level of truth, the highest level of guidance, the highest level of practice, the highest level of result. That's Bhakti Yoga, see? And it's available to anyone and everyone, see? So, let's end our program. We can go on and on and on, but let's end our program with a very easy meditation using the mantras, because the mantras are the number one medicine, we'll call it. See, it's the miracle medicine. And it's a different technique this time, also a very attractive technique. It's a singing technique. Singing is the nature of the soul. See, when you're really, really happy, what do? You sing. If you really want to have a good party, what do? You go to where there's good music, you see, and you dance, and you have a good time. Why? Because it's the nature of the soul. So we're going to use this nature of the soul and sing mantras, transcendental sounds, and therefore bring the mantras into our life in this very, very attractive way. And ask other people to join us. It's called congregational chanting, Sankirtan. Invite other people to your mantra party. See? Okay. So, the system is called Shravanam Kirtanam. Shravanam means to hear. Kirtanam means to chant. So, I'm going to chant the mantra while all of you listen. And then we have our Chintamani choir here. I'm speaking from the Chintamani studio. We have our Chintamani choir, which are going to repeat what I sing, and you sing with them, see? So I chant, and everyone listens, then you chant, and I listen. Okay, so remember, just chant along with the Chintamani choir. We already know the mantra Gauranga, so we're going to make this very easy for everybody. Just add one more mantra, Hari Bol. So it will be Gauranga Hari Bol, or maybe Hari Bol Gauranga, or maybe just Gauranga, or maybe just Hari Bol. But only two mantras, Gauranga and Hari Bol. All you got to do is just listen and repeat. And of course, relax and meditate on the sound. Goranga. Everybody. Goranga. 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 Haribo. 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 Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga. Haribo. Goranga. Haribo. Goranga. Haribo. Goranga. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga Haribo. Goranga. 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 Okay, Haribol. So that was a very short Sankirtan because our time is out. I got another program coming up in 6 minutes. But very nice seeing you this evening. For me, it's evening. For you, I don't know what time it is. But thank you for joining. And remember, there's a solution to every problem of life, but it's a spiritual solution. It's not a material solution. You have to understand the problems are with the spirit soul, not the material bodies. There's problems there too, but for the soul, he's aloof from that. You read the ancient scriptures and it explains very clearly. You know, all these material problems are just as it is. They come and they go. This is the material world. It's destined like that. But we, the spirit soul, can be independent of that. Inside, I can have my world of happiness, pleasure, security, protection, peace, and satisfaction based on my loving relationship with the Supreme Lord. That is the solution of all solutions. And these social problems that are plaguing everybody today, they will disappear on their own. See? Okay, there's much more to be said, but as I say, time is up. Ruben, thank you very much for hosting this today. And we wish you all the best. As Ruben said, they have a meditation center in Trondheim. See, there's also one in Oslo. All that information is available. And there you can actually get more involved in the solutions. Okay. Namaste, Haribol.
Namaste, and thank you very much, Balakhilya. And thank you for joining this lecture. If you had any questions underway or any questions right now, then take the opportunity in 1 week's time to join and tune in for the question and answer follow-up with Balakhilya. So Balakhilya will come back and will respond to your questions on yogameditation.stream, that website. Underneath the video, you can send in your questions. You don't have to write your name. You can send them in anonymously. And sign up for the lecture, join in next week. And if you have any other desire to ask us questions, join our classes, you know, we are a group of meditation schools in UK, Norway, and Canada. Feel free to contact us. We'd be happy to help in whatever way we can. So with those words, I'd like to thank you for joining, and I hope to see you next week again, same time. Namaste.